You know, a new global competition is heating up, but forget about oil for a second. This is a race for a handful of critical minerals, these kind of hidden ingredients that are quietly becoming maybe the most important resources on the planet. And they're shaping literally everything, from our tech and energy all the way to national security.
And hey, it's not just us saying this. JP Morgan Asset Management put it perfectly. Getting your hands on these minerals is now a geopolitical priority. This has gone way, way beyond the boardroom. We're talking about power on the world stage.
So why should you care? Well, because the phone that's probably in your hand right now, the electric car you might be thinking about buying, heck, the entire future of green energy depends on this stuff. And a global showdown to control it, it's just getting started.
We're calling this the new global scramble. I mean, think about it. If the last century was all about the race for oil, the 21st century is shaping up to be a fight for a completely new kind of fuel. The raw materials that power our entire digital and green future.
Okay, so what's the big deal? Why is this all blowing up right now? What is it about these specific minerals that makes them the engines of our future?
Well, it really boils down to two massive global shifts happening at the same time. On one hand, you have the insane pace of electrification. We're talking faster chips, better batteries, smarter devices, all of which need things like cobalt and lithium. Then, on the other hand, you've got this huge push for the green energy transition. Wind turbines, solar panels, EVs, they're all incredibly hungry for these critical minerals, especially rare earth elements for those super powerful lightweight magnets. So demand isn't just growing, no, it's absolutely exploding.
But here's the catch, and it's a big one. While the demand is everywhere, the supply, well, it's anything but. And that creates this massive bottleneck, a supply chain squeeze that has governments all over the world getting really, really nervous. And this is where it gets pretty dicey. A huge chunk of the processing for these essential minerals is concentrated in just one country, China. This isn't some diversified, stable market. It's a dependency. And a dependency like that, it creates a powerful geopolitical lever.
And guess what? We're starting to see that lever get pulled. This whole issue has rocketed from a quiet boardroom concern to a matter of flat-out national security. Governments are officially sounding the alarm, and they're moving from just being worried to taking loud public action.
So it really kicked off with one major move. China, the dominant player here, announced it was going to tighten export controls on some of these key minerals, basically flexing its control over the global supply.
The reaction was, you could say, pretty swift. That move immediately prompted the U.S. government to threaten a whole new round of tariffs. It was a clear signal that they wouldn't just let these controls slide. And just like that, the economic standoff was on.
And of course, this isn't just a two-player game. The European Commission jumped in, stressing the huge risks these shortages pose to their entire economy. Suddenly, every major economic power sees this as a direct threat.
So this brings everybody to a fundamental choice. You've got rising tensions, you've got threatened supply chains. The world is really at a crossroads. How do you secure the resources you desperately need to power your future? Do you, work together, or do you fight for your own slice of the pie?
And that really presents two main paths forward. On the one hand, nations can strike alliances, team up with other countries to create a supply chain that's more resilient and not so dependent on one source. Or they can look inward, use policy, use incentives, and try to build up their own mining and refining capabilities at home. It's basically a choice between cooperation and self-reliance.
Okay, so geopolitics is interesting, but how does this all circle back to the economy and your money? Well, this high-stakes drama has massive implications for the markets, especially for one sector in particular.
Let me just throw a number at you, 26.6%. That's the absolutely stunning year-to-date performance of the global tech sector. It's a multi-trillion-dollar industry, and it's all built on having access to these critical minerals. Any disruption to that supply chain doesn't just slow things down. It puts all of that incredible growth and really the entire digital economy directly at risk. The financial stakes here are just astronomical.
Which leaves us with this one final, really critical question. The race for the future is on, and it's going to be fueled by these minerals. So the central dilemma for every world power is, how do you secure that fuel? Do you do it by building bridges with your allies? Or by building walls to protect your own supply? The answer to that question is going to define the world for decades to come.